Oftentimes when we view a number line, it might look something like this. So we see that the number line starts at 0 and ends at the number 20. In between, we only see that there are 3 marks, but they're evenly spaced out. On our number line, we have to use skip counting a lot of times in order to fill this in. So this kind of becomes like a guess and check. So I might think that my number line is counting by ones. But if I fill it in and I start counting by 1, and I put 1, 2, 3, well, that means that my last number should be 4. But as we see, it's already been labeled to us, and it's not. It is the number 20. So it's not counting by ones, and we can try another route. We can try counting by twos. We can start with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, the twos didn't work. So we can try another number instead. If I wanted to try a different number, I might try the number 5. So let's try 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. So it looks like skip counting by 5s worked for us because the last number that I ended on is the same number that is shown or represented. So in this case, I find that my number line is counting by 5s. Now the numbers in the middle of that number line are still there. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just not shown with a line. But I can always put those numbers there. I can put a line for 1, 2, 3, 4 if I need to. Or I can visually try to guess where those numbers are going to be. So if I wanted to try to guess where the number 7 is going to be, I might say that it's probably somewhere around here. Now that's my best guess. I know that the number 7 is just a little bit closer to 5 than it is to 10, so that's why I put it there. If I wanted to make lines, I would say 6, 7, 8, 9. So I might have been just a hair off, but right here is about where that number 7 would be. So just because all the numbers aren't shown or the lines aren't there doesn't mean that I can't still put the numbers there when they're not shown. I can make my own lines and fill it in. When it only shows some of them, I have to figure out what my line is skip counting by. So in this case, it was skip counting by 20. Let's try a different number line. So let's erase. What if I had a number line from 0 to, let's say, 40? And I had only 3 marks on it, okay? Now I have to get from 0 to 40 using some sort of skip counting. And in the middle, there's only 3 marks. So again, we can try starting by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that didn't work because my last number is supposed to be 40. I could try my twos. 2, 4, 6, 8. Again, that doesn't work because my last number needs to be 40. And if I try skip counting by 5s, I get 5, 10, 15, 20. So this time the 5 is not going to work. So I'm going to try one more time. What else can I skip count by? I can skip count by basically any number I want, but we're going to use common numbers that we skip count by. So next is tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. And there we go. So we have a number line that is skip counting by tens and only representing every 10th number on the line. So the other numbers are hidden because you don't see a line representing them. I can still put them there if I want. So in the middle, I can put the 5, 15, 25, 35. So now what I've done by adding my own lines is I've made it skip count by 5s instead. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I can even add in the other numbers if I really want. So they're going to be a little bit closer together, but now I have my 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can always fill in the number line to match what you need, but when it's already missing some numbers, you have to figure out what it's skip counting by. So let's look at another example. If if I get rid of all these numbers, we're going to keep it to 40, but now I only have one line in the middle. So now I have to figure out what is that middle number between 0 and 40. Well, I can't skip count by 10 like I just did, because then it would be 20 over here. So what else can I skip count by? Well, as I said, you can skip count by every number that you need. Or you can add numbers that you think you might need. So if I want the skip counting by tens, I can add those numbers back in to make it easier for myself. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Another way to think about this might be to ask yourself, what number comes in the middle, directly in the middle between 0 and 40? You might have to use a hundreds chart for this. But when you look at the numbers, the number that's halfway between 0 and 40 is the number 20. So this is counting by 20s. 0, 20, 40. Let's look at another example. One more time. All right, so here we have a similar problem in which I have a number line that goes to 30, but 60, but I only have one number in one line in the middle. So I have to figure out what is that middle number between 0 and 60. You can use your hundreds chart for this if you need to. The middle number between 0 and 60 is the number 30. Okay, we can check on the side, starting with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now if I cross off, coming from both ends, 0, 60, 10, 50, 20, 40, the number in the middle was 30. So I was able to figure out that my middle number is 30. We could have done the same thing with the other line that we were looking at where it ended at 40. You would have to cross off from both sides, 40, 0, 10, 30, 20. On our last number line, the middle number was 20. On this number line, the middle number was 30. So we were able to figure it out. Using our skip counting by tens and crossing off the numbers that weren't shown, making it to the middle, we were able to find that this middle number is 30. Let's do one more example. Let's say that we have our number line set up starting at the number 20 and ending at 80. And let's see. Is that what I want? No. All right. Excuse me while I play around with my numbers here. Got it. Okay. So once again, we have a number, but this time it goes from 0 to 80. So what we want to do is find out what that middle line is. So we can use that skip counting by tens. So let's use that trick we just went over. Let's count by tens. I'm actually going to start at a higher spot because I have more numbers. So starting at 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. In order to find the middle number, I'm going to cross off the top, cross off the bottom, cross off the top, cross off the bottom, cross off the top, cross off the bottom, top, bottom. And I find my middle number this time is 40. So now I know 40 is the number that's in the middle. So we use skip counting in order to figure out those numbers that are represented without actually showing the number there. They're represented with a line. Here we see another representation of a line. This one has filled in for us every 10. It's skip counting by 10, and I know because when I say it, 0, 10, 20, 30. But there's a lot of numbers that are missing on the line. I am missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just between these two numbers here, between my 0 and my 10. I'm also missing the numbers 11 through 19, and then 21 through 29. So I'm missing a lot of numbers on this number line. I can find them by starting with those skip counting patterns. So if I break my line in half, now I can skip count by 5. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. And then if I want to find my other numbers, I can start adding them in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. And so on and so forth until I fill in the whole entire thing. Now, the reason it tells you 15 is halfway between 10 and 20 is because in order to figure out some answers on the page, I have to recognize that skip counting by 5s will break everything into a half. So here, when I skip count over here, 5 is halfway between 0 and 10. 15 is halfway between 10 and 20, and 25 was halfway between 25 and 30. So marking in the middle between those, I can change it to skip counting by 5s. So we already marked them. Now, going back and marking them one more time because it keeps deleting my answers. Now that I've marked each number and changed it to skip counting by 5, it makes it easier then to find a number like the number 12. I know that the number 12 is greater than 10, but less than 15. So it's going to be somewhere between these two numbers. So if I want to find the number 12, I can fill in my lines here, 11, 12, 13, 14. So now I have lines to count by, and I say 11, 12. So here is where I find the number 12. So adding in those lines for ourselves and using skip counting helps us locate numbers easier on a number line. Now, after breaking those apart, I can also answer questions like this one down here, where it asks me what numbers are closer to 10 than 20. Well, 15 is right in the middle, so that means I need all the numbers that are between 15 and 20. So that means the numbers 16, 17, 18, 19. All of these numbers are closer to 20, but that is not what it asks. It wants the numbers closer to 10. So I actually misrepresented that. That would be on this side. So to answer this question, 11, 12, 13, 14 are all the numbers that are closer to 10 than they are to 20. Now, I won't say the number is 15 because the 15 is exactly in the middle, so it's not closer to either number. Only the numbers 11, 12, 13, 14 are closer to 10, and then the numbers 16, 17, 18, 19 are closer to 20. For your work today, you will be given a series of numbers, which is going to look a lot like the number lines we saw at the beginning. Your job is to identify what is that middle number that they give me and write that number there. So on your first one, you see it goes from 0 to 40. We use that as an example, see what you remember. From 0 to 60, what falls in the middle? And for a challenge, from 0 to 50, what falls in the middle there? And last but not least, you'll have 3 more in which you have to find the middle number and then also find the 2 numbers that are given below. So I have to find out what is this middle number and then find out where do these numbers go to. Do they go to where my line pointed or do they go somewhere else? You're going to have to figure that out.